getting closer, the Canterbury AMP show, because your tickets are on sale now.
They are on sale. They always come on sale at the beginning of spring. We align ourselves with the New Zealand Cup and Show Week brand, so Riccarton Raceway and Addington Raceway, we all go on sale together. It's, I guess, the beginning of our carnival week.
All of a sudden it's intense.
It's pretty intense, yeah, and it's just going to get more intense as the phone starts to ring non-stop and everyone starts to demand your attention. Effectively, Rob, if we're not organised now, we're in trouble.
In deep trouble.
Yeah. But we're organised, we know what we're doing, and we're confident of a great show.
You've got a very good team, haven't you, around you?
Extraordinary team. Probably their greatest skill set is their humility and their ability to deal with people. And it's right across the board in the team, and they have to be, because so many of our volunteers come from that rural community. They put a lot of their time in, so they need my team to be understanding and attentive, and I guess enable us to enable them to go and do their thing.
I mean, I've been involved with the AMP show since I was knee-high to a perching pullet, and people don't understand how it actually just works like clockwork.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody understands how it works like clockwork from beginning to end. There is not a single person that understands the whole thing. It's far too complicated for that. When I took over about 3 years ago, we transitioned and we had new staff members come on board, and some very good staff members that had been there for over a decade moved to different roles. And one of our key things, or my key thing, was keep those old employees, those people that were leaving, on our side, because we were going to have to ring them. Exactly. And we do ring them. We ring them all the time. And there's so much knowledge that's in their brain that we need to get out and get our new people to know.
I love the way that you start at the bottom as a volunteer and you work your way up.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and it takes years. But it's pretty important too for us that those people in those roles have all that experience, because they are in control of live animals, big crowds, and so we need them to be experienced, and so we promote them based on all the time they put in.
And for example, the beef judging, there's never a moment where people are standing around waiting. If we could do that at a motor racing circuit, it would be fabulous.
Yeah, no, they move at lightning speed, and they're judging, so it's very, it's subjective, based on all of their experience, and so there's always going to be people disagreeing or agreeing, and so it's a hard job, and we're thankful for those people putting themselves out there and helping us.
Geoff, feather in your cap, you've got a royal event as far as equine's concerned. Yes,
we do. So with Nikki Hutch being our first female president in 153 years, it was appropriate, given her extraordinary commitment to the equestrian section over many, many decades, that status be bestowed upon that particular event. And so the RAS, of course, will be there, and we'll work together with them, and instead of choosing between getting a royal ribbon and a Canterbury AMP ribbon, come to our show and you can get both.
Well, two for the price of one. Tell me about the Spring Into Action business that you've got.
Well, Spring Into Action is another one of those wonderful events created by the equestrian section and all the volunteers involved in it. It's for novice riders, people that want to begin their competition, or they're competing, and also we use it to train judges. It's becoming very popular. It's on the 20th of September, and I think our entries close at the end of the week, so get in there.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it's an event in itself.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's a great training ground for young or new judges.
It's a fully fledged equestrian event with many of the disciplines, and we encourage people that have not competed before to come.
Trade exhibits?
Full, pretty much. I've got a long list. In fact, I had a very large corporate ring me this morning begging for a site, and the answer was, I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to give you what you want. It's very popular, and it's great value for money. These businesses are, they're turning over lots of money, and it's a great injection to the economy.
Now, the other thing, I guess, is it's been a pretty tough season. So what about sheep and beef entries? Are you expecting them to be strong this year?
We don't know, is the answer to that. It's really clear to us that all of those exhibitors will be at the show. They come to the show for the social reasons, and if they are struggling or they're having troubles on their farms because of the price of dairy or because of the drought, they often will come to a show to meet other farmers and get advice and talk and chat and just generally have some fun for a change. And so they'll be there, and whether they bring 5 sheep or 3 sheep, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it is too early at this stage.
It's far too early to say, and we just encourage them to come and do what they can and be a part.
I guess the other thing is that it doesn't matter if you've had a hard year; everyone else that you're competing against has as well.
That's right. often you'll hear economists doom and gloom, and they'll say, oh, we've had a 1% recession, and what people fail to remember is the other 99% of the economy's still there. So what's 1%?
Yeah, exactly. Socially, because you've got your social stuff as far as the farmers are concerned.
Yep.
They're rubbing shoulders, having coffees and having hellos and such. But it's Carnival Day on the Friday.
Yeah, it is Carnival Day on the Friday. We so this year we're bringing in probably the biggest band in New Zealand history, the Feelers.
The Feelers?
The Feelers.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. They're an enormous act. They've had that many number ones. They leave most other bands to shame, more radio play than any other band in New Zealand. And they're going to play a very big sound. It's going to be a big gig. And they're from Christchurch, so it's a bit of a homecoming from them. And for the show, again, it's another step up, probably the biggest band they've ever had. And it will just add to that carnival feeling.
So that's Friday.
That's Friday, yep.
And so isn't it amazing that the whole of Canterbury stops so that they can go to the show on the Friday?
Well, they have to, because traditionally Canterbury is a dry farming region, and come that sort of this first Friday after the second Tuesday in November, in the days gone by, they would bale up the hay and pack all their things up and leave their farms and come into town.
We always just got the first cut of Lucer in the show week.
That's right, yep. and there. So I guess that tradition just shows how important farming has been to not only Christchurch but to Canterbury.
It's 153 years.
153 years, that's right. So that first show, I think, was at Sydenham Park on Brougham Street, and it's only evolved from there.
Can I say that the park that you're at now is
Yes.
starting to really mature? I mean, there was a lot of questions when it was first produced.
Yeah. It is maturing. Those trees are certainly, some of them are taking off. In fact, a lot of them are taking off. And that's that time where, you put a tree in the ground for 15 to 20 years and then suddenly it'll go. A lot of that is down to Dougal Thomas, the operations manager, who has been there, I think, since the beginning in that new park. And he is one of those unsung heroes of the show that does an enormous amount of work to make it work. He knows how to convince people to give him some fertiliser or to lay some asphalt for next to nothing. And that's those little tricks in life, those winks and those nods that make the show special, and he's one of those special guys.
Yeah, and of course there is, as you said, there are social events. I mean, a lot of the farmers would have a barbecue on a certain night, and
Yeah. So the beef guys will have a barbecue, I think, on the Wednesday night. The sheep exhibitors will have their big do on the Thursday night, and there'll be a cocktail party for many and members and lots of other people on the Thursday night also. And I think the equestrian section will have a shindig of their own.
are bound to have a shindig of their own.
That's right, yep. And then, of course, there's the Bar and the Continental Cafe, which will have all sorts of stuff going on in it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And very briefly, the produce shed, that's always a big attraction, isn't it? Well, I shouldn't say produce, I mean that food shed.
Yeah, the Food and Wine Pavilion is pretty exciting. Yeah. It's got some really interesting food manufacturers in there this year, and wine, which feeds, of course, off our International Aromatic Wine Competition, where last year we had over 400 entries. So again, we're expecting high numbers of entries. We've already got lots coming in, so it's exciting.
It is exciting indeed. Thank you very much indeed.